Hey guys, I'm Andrew McComb and welcome to Web3 TV. In today's video, I'm with Chen, the head of the Cloudtech Group, and we're going to dig deeper into the most commonly asked questions people are asking in regards to blockchain, in a bid to help someone new to this space understand it a lot more. But before we do, make sure you register to watch every episode of Web3 TV here, where we share inspiring stories of all things Web3, making a difference to the world. All sorted? Okay, let's go. In this episode of Web3 TV, we want to ask you, Chen, the president of the Cloudtech Group, the most commonly asked questions in regards to blockchain in a bid to help someone new to the space understand blockchain a lot more. So what would you say are the most common questions people have when it comes to blockchain and I guess Web3 as a whole?
Yeah. Okay. The most question I get from blockchain is basically how to make money on it. Will Bitcoin rise? Normally the people are asking prices. What's my prediction in next few days or in next few years? So that's what I get. One of the most questions. And second most questions is about the safety of it, which is not the technical part of it, but it's about the legalization part. People say, oh, China's banning Bitcoin, banning all these cryptocurrencies, and most of the banks don't want to deal with companies and personals that dealing with crypto businesses. With this sort of thing will be gone, or is that a bubble? All this thing. So basically, I get this sort of questions from people. Yeah. And do you want me to give you the simple answer on those ones?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so for price prediction, okay, I would give people a very genuine sort of opinion on this. When we talk about price, it's always about people wants to make money on it, like they feel like they're buying shares or anything like that. I would normally tell people, don't do things that you don't know. Okay, if you're here for quick money, you think you can just buy in and sell in a higher price, make the money. Yeah, that sounds very simple, but that's most of the time that people lose money because you don't have the proficiency. But another way to look at it is a diversify of your wealth. So if we look at the U.S. stock and share market compared to the crypto market is about 1% of the size of U.S. Capital markets. So let's give us a very good indication. So if you have that wills need to be put on the side, either into a real estate, into stock and shares, into gold, or into different things, art pieces, collectibles, right? If you think, oh, maybe blockchain or Bitcoin or any other crypto coin is one of the investment asset, like the ratio I just mentioned, the capital market of the United States and the crypto market, which is 1%. How about allocate 1% of your wealth into blockchain asset? All right. The prediction is very simple because 4 years, it's a cycle. So which means most likely 90%, year 2025 will be another peak. Take a Bitcoin example. The next peak, the lowest price, always going to be the highest price of last peak. Let's see, in year 2017, the highest peak is around $20,000, right? From 12 to 20,000. Today is actually the lowest peak now until maybe next year. So still the price range will be from 12,000 to 20,000, right? So that's this cycle's lowest point is the last peak of last cycle. And the next cycle in year 2025 will be the peak. So I will conservatively predict somewhere around 200,000 per Bitcoin in year 2025. But year 2026 will drop, maybe the lowest point is somewhere around 50,000.
And where do you see it settling?
Okay.
Long term.
Long term, to $1 million, that's in maybe 8 years time, US dollar. Yeah.
Yeah. So you reckon $1 million in 8 years' time?
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you want to explain for the viewers who are new to this, like you're talking about a 4-year cycle? Why is there a 4-year cycle with Bitcoin?
Oh, well, you have to look at the bigger picture of the capital world. Okay, so today we're talking about Bitcoin price or whatever the price, right? We have to take a fiat currency as the benchmark, right? The price we're giving is based on US dollar value, right? So simple. To have more price increasing, which means is more fiat money flow into the crypto market, which means the price will go up. So now we have to find where the more fiat money will come. Of course, we have to get smoother channel of money floating in, which is much better than 4 years, 8 years ago now, right? Lots of licensed company like us, we facilitated people swapping their cash into crypto back to cash, right? So we have the channel, but people has to have money first, right? So all this peak is because people firstly make money in the traditional capital market. Every time crypto market went up, you will say there was a peak time for the capital market. But the capital market will follow, will increase its size or going up value is because government's printing more money. So today we know America is actually keep increasing the interest of American dollars, which is draining all the blood from different countries. But eventually they will stop, and people will suffer. But once people start suffering from lack of money circulating in the economical societies, government will start printing money again. So I will predict that in year 2024, all governments will start printing more money, and we'll go to the capital market. People will make money in the capital market. Then people will take part of the gains and benefits to the crypto market. Right? That's very obvious. It's not a science. You just have to look at the broad picture. Don't look at the small picture. Don't listen to the people around you, which is not professional or not professional enough. Because all this information, it's open to you, open to everyone. Look at the big economical trend, then you will know when to buy in and when to sell. But only keep in mind, okay, the best way to make money in a crypto world is sleeping. Imagine you bought Bitcoin in year 2012, maybe $200, and you forget about it. But today you find this is my private key. You bought like 10,000 worth. Now how much is that worth? Right?
200,000 from $200, right? Amazing.
Yeah. So basically, if you want to invest, people wants to invest into Bitcoin or investing into cryptocurrency, please only buy the blue chips, Bitcoin, Ethereum. That's it. And you have the confidence you don't touch those money for next 3 years, then you have 95% chance to gain.
So tell us about the supply and demand side of Bitcoin with the only a certain amount's been allocated and there's a halving every 4 years. Can you tell us about that?
Oh, well, this is a theory based on Austria economical style. Okay, the main researcher or the professor name is Keynes. Okay, what he believes is different from what the classic economics. We believe that supply and demand, right? The higher the demand, the lower quantity of supply, the higher the price. Everyone understands that. But in the Austria economical style, they believe all prices and values come from consensus, which means that how many people is believing this value, the more people believe in this value, the value of this thing will actually increase. I can take an example of Australian dollar. Okay, you can take Australian dollar, go to US, go to a 7-Eleven, trying to buy a piece of gum. They will tell you to go away because they don't recognize that currency, which means Australian dollar is under a consensus of 50 million people, right?
Yeah.
But Bitcoin now already have about 100 million people that actually owns it. So if we talk about which format of currency is more reliable, according to Austria economical style, the bigger the consensus, the more reliable of the currency.
Very good. And that's on the consensus model. So what
Yes.
about other parts of the whole blockchain Web3 conversation? So NFTs, for example, do they actually have any value, or is that just a short-term trend, like a poppy trend?
I believe some of the NFTs has value. Most of the NFTs don't. Okay. Basically, NFT is what we call the technology of ERC 721. Okay, it's a non-fungible token. That's for the let's say a licensing or title of non-fungible goods.
Can you explain that?
Can
you explain that a little more? Like, to a newbie in the space, non-fungible token. What does fungible mean, and what's a token?
Okay, let's say 1 Bitcoin token, right? I can send you 0.001 Bitcoin, which means this Bitcoin token is fungible, right? It can be separated into a lot of zeros behind the decimal point. Non-fungible token means that you cannot sell 0.1 of this NFT, which has to be a whole picture, right? Has to be a holistic token. Just like, let's say I'm selling a nice painting from a famous artist for $50,000, right? But you go like, I want to buy 1%. Sure, but you cannot take that 1% with you, right? You can buy 1%, no problem. I can reckon, oh, now you have 1% ownership of this thing,
yeah,
but you cannot tear the painting, right? So that's what they're for.
Yeah.
And I think the original purpose of ERC 721 token, which is NFT, is actually for digital titles. I'll give you a good example. You never buy a fake house in the most public world. Why? Because you have to go to the authorities to transfer the title. You can easily to buy a fake glass. Let's say this is glass from Tiffany, right? Market price is $500, but I bought it for $5, but I can get people to print Tiffany logo on it. I sell you this one. And they look like Tiffany. Tiffany also has one of this kind of product, and you bought it, you got cheated. What if the government issue a title for this one? Once I sell you this for $500, you go like, that's fine, man. Here's my $500. Let's go to the authority to transfer title. But the title transfer, it costs $600, $1,000. We wouldn't do that. So I have the chance always to make it the fake ones to sell to people, right? It's because the cost of the title is too much, time consuming and money cost. But now we can issue an NFT on the Ethereum blockchain for 5 cents. Now you're buying this, fine. I don't have to know it's genuine or not. Okay, you're sending me this, you tell me that's Tiffany, right? Then you transfer me title, and I can trace it back whether this title was originally from Tiffany or not. So which means all these things that needs transferring and with a cost of trust incurred, and NFTs can be used.
Fantastic. So
I think that's
they're like getting a license from an artist to say this is the original painting.
Yes, yes. But to this centralized licensing thing, it's like, you know, we bought art piece and they actually have a website says this number is the genuine piece, right? I can print that number because that thing never moved. No one can prove that that's the genuine one. That's a transaction. So that's the beauty of blockchain. Blockchains involve people with neutral minded, which is to do the mind step, the time step which they are the minor owners, right? They don't care what your transaction is, because when they're mining, they're giving timestamp, they get paid. They want the system to be fair and stable.
Yeah, and they're getting paid
So,
differently, aren't they, to the transaction? Yeah.
But to come back to the question, whether today's NFT is still a bubble or worth something, okay? The oldest few ones, they're worth something because of the scarcity. Because there's only one thing we cannot buy, is time, right? The older brands, like CryptoPunks or the Born Apes, they're still worth something because they have scarcity, they have the time. But most of the ones that come later in that boom, I'm sorry, probably most of them were worth nothing.
Unless someone values them and is willing to pay for them at whatever price they choose to pay for, right? So, but the market
very small consensus group.
Yeah.
See how big is the art market today?
That's huge,
right? It's huge, but compared to the majority markets, let's say food industry, everyone gonna eat, compared to art industry. All right, the size of it, it's just so much different. The reason is, if we only take NFT as it's used for art purposes, it's already a smaller market. And making NFTs are so easy. There's no scarcity.
Yeah.
Right? Unless there's some more emotional attachment adding to it. Like, celebrity endorsements, like photos that taken in a very critical and monumental moment. Those things, because it's scarcity. Otherwise, you can draw any looking of punk and putting millions out on the cyber world. It's not going to worsen anything.
Okay, let's just change tack slightly. Are cryptocurrencies trustworthy for businesses?
Yes, very trustworthy. The reason today we feel risky, first thing, we don't know. Not many people know. We're only less than 1% that people involved into crypto activities or businesses. Only 1% out of that 1% maybe have deep understanding of blockchain technology. So unknown is making people risky. It's not because blockchain itself make people feel risky. A good example, let's see, I'm a computer sales store, and I have to buy things from my wholesaler. My wholesaler has to buy things from the manufacturer. The manufacturer has to buy things from their parts suppliers, right? So every company has their own ledger. Every company has to put certain amount of money for their inventory, for their productions, right? Which is actually lower the efficiency of money already. But imagine the whole supply chain is writing on the same ledger. In a smart contract, let's say this guy, supplier, supply to the manufacturer until the ending sales, once we get the whole money of this whole product line. And this smart contract itself will actually divide all these benefits and revenues to different companies. Which means there's only one guy in the first end has to spend overhead cost money for inventories, right? And all other guys could help him with that to get extra gain from capital. But today's situation is every chain of this business cycle has to have inventory money, which sits there for nothing. And plus, all this healthy of the company's business, you can look from the ledger, right? If you want to deal with someone, you say, I'm a big company, like you want to deal with me, you want to invest into me. Oh, I'm rich, I have so much money. Then I give you a report from my accountant, or even an accountant from overseas who doesn't really give any responsibility to it, right? That's all you can know. But if the ledger is open, you'll be more comfortable and more safe to invest or to buy my things.
Yeah, so it makes it more open, more transparent for transactions and potential history of transaction to see that it's legitimate.
Yes, yes.
with crypto as well as the blockchain taking as the ledger for that. So I guess again a segue to another common question I guess you get is, are cryptocurrencies the same as blockchain? And if not, what are the other applications that say the blockchain has apart from crypto?
Okay, so first of all, we understand blockchain is an open ledger. Okay, so ledger means that anything we deal with numbers, right? So that's blockchain. And money is one format of numbers that which really are relevant to everyone today. So cryptocurrencies are just one of the applications of blockchain technology.
Okay, and the applications of blockchain over and above crypto would be, so if we look at crypto as a currency, then blockchain is the ledger, or the, let's call it the report card for the transactions that occur with the likes of crypto. Is there any other functionality of the blockchain?
Okay, so first of all, I continue what you described about cryptocurrency. Okay, blockchain technology to cryptocurrency is a money transaction system. Is the machine actually printing money? All right. Also, is the vault actually holds the money, because no one owns Bitcoin. It all in a big pool. It's only different registration. Now, when I send it to you, now register to your name, to your address, not my address. That's it. Okay. For other applications that run on blockchain, like I said, smart contracts, right? That people do not have to go to a lawyer to actually have a contract that can be implemented without human interfere. So smart contract, using NFTs, online games, but all this application you see, in somehow you can actually categorize as a sort of different format of token. Token is not necessarily money. Just like I said, NFT it's not a currency, but it's a non-fungible token.
Yeah, so it's a form of value.
Okay. Do you want me to actually touch a little bit why blockchain has to have a token on it?
Absolutely.
Okay. So the original idea of Satoshi, so he believed decentralization is the way to go to actually protect the data to be more safe. So today's IDCs, like all big companies, like for example, Amazon, right? They have the frontier IDC centers that which do quicker interaction data in and out, right? Then they have the backup IDCs to actually back up those data, let's say daily or weekly. Then they have another called disaster backup, which is the third stage, which backup for a longer period, not that high frequent, and it's well protected in a remote area. But however, if all these three places been bombed or destroyed, all this data is gone, right? So Satoshi believed if we have all these data, they actually store in each individual's computer for a little portion. And all these people are located in different part of the world, which means doesn't matter a country, a continent is sunk. The rest of the places still have a full ledger for the safety. But people would not put out their computer for free to, let's say, to actually depreciate of this computer life, to actually cost electricity to run the computer. People wouldn't do it. How could you make people to do it? To actually have their computer online to serve the purpose of blockchain network. That's why you give people reward. That's Bitcoin. That's all other coins. That's a called POW algorithm, right? So if you can keep your computer online, I give you some sort of money, right? Now people, that's why there's manufacturers for miners. People before it's only personal computers, because you can gain money from it. So that's why all blockchain network have a token. That's an incentive for the network.
Yeah. So a network of individuals at home using their computer can help mine Bitcoin, as an example, because of the power that they're using, or is it more for the storage side of it?
Storage side, it's very minor in the blockchain 1.0, because each block before it's not even 2 megabytes, so it doesn't really require lots of storage, basically no storage. It's only stores the ledger information.
Yeah, so it doesn't take a lot. And then from a power perspective, because I know, and this is an interesting one, when I first got into this, I heard Elon Musk saying that Bitcoin was bad for the environment. Bitcoin mining was bad for the environment. And I just thought, I couldn't get my head around that, because as a traditional mining is an underground process, right? I'm like, but you don't mine Bitcoin in the ground, you know? So how is it mined? And why is it not good for the environment? Is it because of the power use that's required to mine it using the big computers?
Okay. This is not an original idea of blockchain, but it worked out like this. Okay, always because benefits and money involvements. So first of all, I don't take the blame, and like Elon Musk said, okay, you cannot blame a child go out there and beat someone up. It's because this child is raised in a violent family, and he even go to a kindergarten with everyone beating everyone up. So it was educated like that. So are we going to blame the parents or the teacher, or just blame the kid? Right? Obviously, in this case, we know we should blame the teacher and the parent first. Same thing in Bitcoin mining. So first of all, Bitcoin mining is based on an algorithm called POW, proof of work. Proof of work, again, its original purpose is to keep your computer online, right? But however, each block will generate certain amount of Bitcoin. But who should get this Bitcoin among millions of computers? So they come up with an encryption problem for the computers to solve. Which machine ever gets this answer first gets the reward to get the Bitcoin. So which means even you have a Bitcoin miner, not necessarily you are guaranteed to get the Bitcoin, right? Because you could always be the second one. You never get it. So that's why in mining, there's called a mining pool. So let's say there's 50 students in the classroom. Teacher give out questions, 1 + 1 = how much? Whoever gets the answer first, who gets a cookie, right? Of course, 1 + 1, every student understand the guy who actually raised his hand very quickly. He probably always going to be the one taking that cookie. And the rest of the class will lose interest. They will not even participate in this. Just like no more miners in the network, because they're not guaranteed to get a cookie. Now they go like, okay, how about I separate this 50 people into 5 groups, which is the mining pool. Any one of them from the group who gets the reward with 1 cookie will share with this rest of the 10. Right? So that become something we can measure. Some percentage we can guarantee. That's why when you go to mining pools, right, to decide which pool you want to go, they always give you a lucky rate. So most of them will say, oh, I'm above lucky rate. I'm so lucky. But you still get guaranteed how much Bitcoin you can get by a miner, because it's been a big group and you're always in a part of it. Mm-hmm. Okay, so in this point, why is wasting electricity and damaging the environment? Okay, as I mentioned, because everyone's competing for this encryption problem solving, right? So the difficulty of the problem is actually keep increasing too, automatically. So they require a very efficient computer because everyone else is competing, right? So the computers become more and more efficient and cost more and more power. but the calculation they do is nonsense because it's just decrypting some nonsense problems. That's why people say it's wasting of power and damaging the environment, because all this calculation power they used is not generating any benefits to people.
So much information. How long do you think, and obviously because of the understanding, or people don't know what they don't know about blockchain and about cryptocurrency, etc., how long do you reckon it's going to take before it reaches the mainstream globally?
To become mainstream globally, I would say maximum another 3 cycles. So maximum next 12 years.
And why do you say that? Like, what is it going to take for everyone to embrace it and go, this is the new way of currency, for example, security, protection, privacy? Why do you say that?
Okay, because normally when we want to predict the future, we study the history, right? So let's look at the history. When I first entered the industry in year 2014, 15, I go out and promoting Bitcoin. People go like, Kim, you've been successful in your hotel business already, and you are higher educated. Why you go for this sort of scam? So that's what you get in year 2014. Okay, in year 2016, 17, I went back to China to do mine business, to find cheap electricity from the mountains where the water hydrant is, right? And I went there, I found the people that live in the mountains, they know about Bitcoin because lots of people go mining there. And there's some open-minded entrepreneur who come to me, go like, can you help me to actually set up the mining sites? And I still get lots of people say, oh, don't do scam. Bitcoin is nothing, it's a scam. But today, we're talking about, no one will say Bitcoin is a scam. Maybe another cryptocurrency is a scam. But majority of people start to accepting this sort of format of currency. Plus, before there's no money entrance channel, as I mentioned, right? You have to use your personal account when you act like a company to receive money and help people to buy cryptocurrencies. And now you have account open for all the biggest exchanges like Binance in Australia, right? And you also have ETF is being regulated in the States. So all the medium size of traditional financial institutions are joining in, which means give a much wider channel of fiat currency flow in. And there's few banks, like banks in Singapore, they're already talking about having crypto bankings. Once all these commercial banks entered, people wouldn't even feel it changed to blockchain, because people never feel until things just silently and gradually get into their life, like social medias, right? Like, WhatsApp, like WeChat, like TikTok. Is there anyone going like, oh, we want TikTok? No one wants TikTok. But it just sneak into your house, sneaking into your everyday life. That's the power of technology. To ordinary people, you don't have to notice that.
Yeah, so I guess there's two sides to it, isn't it? There's the popularity in the population that over time it becomes seen as something normal, but then obviously the application of it, so it's usable in the real world. Because I know, even now people are like, well, what's the point? And you can't use it to buy things, etc.
Yes.
Which is not true, obviously, but they don't know what they don't know. But soon they will know, and they'll then have access to their wallets and everything else to be able to, and their Visa cards, etc., to be able to buy. So over time, it just slowly gets adopted. And so you're thinking within 12 years' time, it's going to be mass adoption. And do you think at that point it's going to be like even more valuable? I know you mentioned $1 million before, but I don't just mean that Bitcoin. I mean the industry as a whole is going to be so much more valuable than it is now.
Yes, will be much more valuable, but which will be much more genuine products. Okay, today's most of the token will be gone. Only the blue chips will probably still existing, but still there's yet to be changed. I would say Bitcoin will be Bitcoin and Ethereum will be there. The reason is Bitcoin has very long history, right? So which is something you cannot buy It's a time. And secondly, Bitcoin now is more like a gold in the crypto industry. All right, I think there will be newer format of money to issue, which is a stable coins, and we already know there's USDTs. But if a country wants to issue it, and the system probably will go back to what they call Bretton Woods system, which is the monetary system the whole world was using before year 1970. All these paper notes were printed based on how much gold reserve the country has. But now, just overprinting it, people start lacking of confidence in those printed currencies. But if we want to build things that have cryptocurrency as a majority of money format, Bitcoin as reserve to print currency is probably going to be a trustworthy way. Okay, that's for Bitcoin. For Ethereum, is actually a very technology-driven token. Okay, basically, today's NFTs, smart contract, anything you can see it's based on Ethereum technology. Before you issue a token, it's a long process. It require lots of technicians to do it. But now, today, if you want to issue a token, would take you maybe 5 minutes, and you don't have to be an expert. Yeah.
Very cool. So huge future, huge potential, huge possible value for the general population. One thing that's interesting is a little diversification here is the metaverse. Is it really the future of Web3, or is it just a corporate fueled fantasy?
Oh, well, let's see. Today we already live in the metaverse. The only thing we're lacking is we don't own it. Right? You play a computer game. Let's say you play a computer game with someone else in a totally different world, either be a Warcraft or whatever, right? People in there, people talking, people fight, right? That's already a metaverse, right? You have emotional attaching to it. You're making friends there. You might find your loved ones there. You take your real friend into the game. That's already a metaverse. But why no one is actually claiming that's a metaverse yet? It's because all these things in that game, it belongs to the gaming company. They can freeze your account anytime. You don't own it. That's the difference. Once we solve the sovereignty of individuals, yes, metaverse, it is the future because it's already here. It's already being used.
And the future of it, is it an extended version of gaming? Like, is it more interactive? It feels like you're actually in it rather than watching it?
I think we have to be careful with we cannot consider all this future without thinking of AI technology development. Right? So one of the novels said, in the future, real human being will be only two kinds: genius and useless people. Because in the middle, the things like the educational system from 1990 until today, it's creating human robots. Never teach you how to make money. Any one of the teacher in your primary school and high school teach you how to make money? They teach you disciplines, right? They want you to be part of the small part of the mechanical parts in this whole social society system, right? So AI, it doesn't eat, much more powerful, much quicker. So they will replace us anyway. That's why people are developing it, right? So where are we going to go? Right? Metaverse, people will have much more freedom and time to actually play games or to social with someone on the cyber world, right? Not necessarily a game. Let's say you're chatting with a lady that you met in a bar, and you're having a sort of text chat for 2 hours. Is that a game or not? As long as you enjoyed it. So game is a big definition. Yeah.
Very cool. So it's a definite reality. such a good conversation, Kevin. Obviously, so much to share, so much more to share. If there was one more thing that you would get as a frequently asked question for people in relation to blockchain, Web3, or even cryptocurrency, what would it be?
Of course, people always want to know the future. All right. So the questions you've been asking me is basically what people normally will ask. Again, it's always about the price. And I think I got some serious question, which is good question. People often ask me what the world would be like if blockchain technology is being the most popular information technology. Okay, my answer is this world would be much better world is because the powers and the ownership of wealth and capitals would no longer easy to be gathered by the people with the motivation of monopoly.
Yeah,
and we will find that this world will be much more peaceful because let's see, United States and Australia, we're never going to have a war. Why? Because we're basically deeply understand each other's system. Any problem issue occurred in these two countries, we can discuss because we're playing the same game rule, right? This is why the conflicts can never be solved in between US and Russia and China, because the value system are different, right? The nationalism, the ideology, they're all different. It's because purposely all these leaders wants to control their people by differentiate them to the people from another country. But blockchain system is so powerful, is so fair, will be adopted by human, because that's human needs. We want transparency, we want fairness. Once the whole world is running on one system, anything can be discussed. There's no need to be war. The cost of military will be very low. The cost of trust will be very, very low. And people probably only have to work 1 day a week because our technology is already here. So adopting blockchain will change the world, will make everyone's life easier.
Sounds exciting. Well, Kevin, thank you so much for sharing all of your wisdom and your frequently asked questions. If you have missed it, guys, I'll put the link here to What is Blockchain, the video we recorded earlier. And as a bonus, we're putting together an interview with Kevin about his journey into Web3 and how he got into it, how he started the Cloudtech Group. So if you want to watch that, we'll put a link to that as well. And if you want to know more about Kevin and the Cloudtech Group, we'll put a link in the description below. And finally, if you have any comments or questions for Kevin that you'd like him to answer for you, put them in the comments below as well. And Kevin, are you happy to answer those for the viewers?
My pleasure. I'm always happy to answer anything related about blockchain religion. I'm the missionary.
Very good. Well, thanks for coming on the show, and we'll talk to you shortly in your interview. Well, there it is, guys. I hope you enjoyed this Web3 TV episode. If you've got any questions, leave them in the comments below. And remember, if you'd like to watch every episode of Web3 TV, visit the link below or subscribe to our channel. And remember to hit the bell icon so that we can notify you every time a new episode is released. I'm Andrew McComb, and I look forward to sharing more inspiring Web3 TV episodes, making a difference to the world. I'll see you soon.